Hi friends! I wanted to talk today about working out as a spiritual practice. This is something that I talk about quite a bit online, but I wanted to do a video because I can't always, online there's like tone and I'm careful about the words that I use because I don't want to be off-putting to someone, and that's not because I'm timid about my own personal beliefs and practices, but more so because the strongest conviction I have around that is that everybody gets to choose what works for them. So if I use a word like the universe or God or whatever, I also am totally respectful of wherever you come from, and I don't think you have to be a practicing anything or even a religious person at all to gain something from thinking of working out as a spiritual practice. So I kind of wanted to talk about how that works for me in hopes that that might resonate with you and it might help you, and if not, then you wasted 5 minutes of your life watching a movie. And you can see my beautiful house and my clock, and there's some lovely artwork behind me, so see, it was worth your time. When I started working out, it was really a chore. I wanted to be a good example for my daughter. I wanted to change my ideas about my body, and not necessarily change my body so I could change my ideas about my body, but change my self-care practices. I wanted to teach my daughter to value and respect her body as it is, and to put herself on her list of priorities. I don't want to teach my daughter to be a martyr. So those were sort of my motivations. But even with those really great motivations that kept me going, it was still a chore. It was still like, working out again. I worked out yesterday. Balls. And slowly over time that started to change for me. And when I started identifying my workout as being a spiritual practice, it's become so much better. How this began for me is I started noticing that my mood was completely different on days that I worked out. My head was clearer. I had already sort of worked out the mess of yesterday or whatever was going on in my brain, and could start forth a new day feeling really great. And so that's the intention that I set at the beginning of just about every workout, is like, let's make this day start awesome. Let's do something for me. Let's revive myself. Let's let go of whatever stress happened yesterday or last week or whatever's on my brain that's not helping me feel good. I'm trying to get that out, sweat it out, feel awesome, and move on and have a great day. Sometimes it's harder than others. I mean, there's life. I don't want to sit here and complain about my circumstances, but I know you get that. Like, you have stresses. Some of them are big, huge, illness, things that are really challenging to deal with. And when that's not happening, then it's probably other crappy stuff popping up. Like, work is stressful, and having to deal with other people and their moods is stressful. There's all kinds of things. Oh, my phone's ringing. Hey. I don't know who you are. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I'll call them back. Sorry. Live video. Anyway, so getting through the stress of one day so that you can move forward with a fresh perspective for the next. That's my primary goal with every workout. Over time, that's evolved into other things. Now, when it's really nice outside and I'm running with my dog, I find my tree spot, which I post pictures of all the time. There's this one clearing that makes me, just thinking about it. I don't know what it is. It's like this one place in the woods where it stops being tree covered and dark and the sun starts to peek in, and I'm a sensitive person, but it feels really beautiful to be in that spot. And so whenever I'm there, I stop and I take some time to collect my thoughts and ask the universe whatever you believe in for whatever you need. Or sometimes I just sit and reflect, but I take the time sitting in that spot to gather myself and feel prepared for the next day. During the winter, it looks a little different because I am a weather wuss. I don't like to be out in the snow. I'm gonna hurt myself. If I try and run in the ice, I am just going to the emergency room. I'm clumsy. So I go to the gym and throw around heavy weights because that makes sense for a clumsy person. And that is more like grimy hip hop and like pretending I'm in the club doing my squats, In the winter, I have a history of depression. Seasonal depression is something that creeps up for me in the winter, so I have to be really mindful about getting there. I have less motivation to get there, so I just have to make myself, and I feel powerful. My intention during the winter is always about like finding that inner power. Like, yeah, it's winter. and I really just want my fuzzy blanket and to roll up in a ball, but I'm going to go feel powerful because that's what I need in the winter. Typically, maybe this winter will be all about serenity and I'll be like Zen squatting. I don't know. But that's sort of the whole point. Working out doesn't have to be this like chore about changing your body parts. The problem with that is that takes time. You're gonna get a great ass if you're doing a bunch of squats and lunges and whatever. That's gonna come. But if you're only doing that because you're like, gonna get my great ass, that takes a while. So that means that every time you go, then you're like looking in the mirror afterwards, like, is it there yet? What's going on back there? Working out as a spiritual practice is immediate results. Immediately feeling better, immediately recognizing how those endorphins affect you and feel great in your body, immediately feeling more energized and better in general. So I wish that I had had this sort of perspective when I started working out. I think it would have made it much easier. I sort of did the no excuses mentality when I was starting, and like I had the great motivation, like I said, of my daughter and not just of great assness. But I didn't appreciate it as a practice for me. And now that I do, it's so much easier. I wish I could have started this way. Like, here I go. I'm going to go out and do my workout, and I'm going to feel so good about me and the world and getting my stress out and feeling awesome. That's what I do now. And if I had started with that, it would have been infinitely easier. So regardless of where you're at, if working out every day is a regular practice, add this. Think about just stress busting or feeling peaceful or feeling powerful, whatever you need that day, wherever weakness you're feeling in yourself. Think about getting through that during your workout. Use that time to connect with yourself or whatever bigger than you believe in, or the trees, or whatever. Think of connecting, even if it's just with you, and getting through whatever's weighing on you. Use your workout for that, and it's going to start to feel like the best thing that you do for yourself all day, and less like this chore that you're doing because, damn it, your ass is going to be better in the end. That's I don't know. For me, that feels icky. If that feels great to you, then like do that. But for me, waking up every day and promising myself that I'm going to improve my thighs doesn't feel good. It doesn't uplift me, and it sure doesn't motivate me. It's a recipe for self-sabotage. So working out as a spiritual practice, as something you do to connect with yourself and whatever you believe in, is kind of amazing. So that's all I have to say today. I hope you enjoyed my fabulous video, and sorry about the phone call. Talk to you guys later.